Thank you for staying tuned. It is still the conversation here on Lagos Television. Now, moving from conversations around influential people who have impacted lives and their countries in 2025, we will be delving into Lagos and its political stories in 2025. Now, politics continues to shape the direction of governance, development, and citizen participation, especially in a dynamic state like Lagos. From policy decisions and political realignments to youth inclusion and governance at the grassroots, 2025 has recorded several defining political moments here in Lagos. And joining us on the conversation, we have with us Barrister Jide Ologun. He is a lawyer and a political affairs commentator, and he'll share insights, perspectives, and expectations as Lagos prepares for the future. You're welcome, sir. It's
Merry
good to have
Christmas.
you. Merry Christmas.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New
The
Year.
New Year is here already.
It's here already. All right. So let me start with the topic of discourse. Now, when you heard about it, Lagos and its political stories, what came to mind?
Awesome. When you talk about politics in Nigeria, Lagos occupies a very special space, and enviable one for that matter, particularly when you look at how the synchronization has been groomed in Lagos. And for the year 2025, the major story that opened the year was the impeachment
We'll get to
of
that.
the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Obasa, when he was on vacation out of the country. I think about 32 members came together and impeached him. And when he returned, he said no to it. And he instituted a court action. But eventually, the political mechanism in Lagos stepped in. And fortunately, in this dispensation, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces and the #1 citizen in politics in Nigeria is from Lagos State, talking about Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So what he did was to invite the stakeholders to Abuja, and the matter was resolved. He was returned as the Speaker and peace reinstated. And you may want to compare that with the River State situation that wasn't easy to manage until eventually it was managed to the point that the ruling party there has caved in to APC. So that was a major one in year 2025. And another notable political event in year 2025 was the local government election in Lagos. And towards the primaries, and during the primaries, there were differences within the party of APC. And then again, how it was resolved, you can say, can be connected to the same internal crisis management mechanism of the party. But when the elections actually came, it was discovered that there was a very strong apathy. A lot of stakeholders, do I say abandoned now, so to say, abandoned the local government elections, some claiming that, of course, everyone should know who will sweep all the local government leadership. And eventually, APC swept the local government areas. And then, some parties did not even bother to field candidates. As to make reference to my own unit in Ikeja, where it was just one party, and I was wondering, no competitor, no party agent, nothing. So, and that is one area that should be of concern to us. I think we need to re-engender the interests of the citizens in politics and of course in elections, because ideal democracy is participatory. Democracy is still government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So
Definition has not changed yet.
And another notable event in 2025 was when my great brother, Jide Adedino, returned home to APC from PDP.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, he has always been in APC, so he went to test the waters in PDP and eventually returned home. And he returned to a very warm reception. He's a frontline stakeholder in the Lagos politics and APC. And as if he was seeing ahead. Again, we are in a regime where defections have not stopped in Nigeria. The whole machinery of states, talking about Delta State, Bayelsa State, Akwa Ibom, Enugu, and you can count on and on and on. Even Kano, that is a stronghold of NNPP. Right now, we understand there may be some moves to defect to APC. So those were the major events of the year as per Lagos State. But relatively, Lagos has enjoyed a calm political environment, you know, and that has also assisted the economic performance. And again this year, as at the third quarter, Lagos has done well, though it's about over 400 billion left out in touching the projected IGR for the year 2025. So by and large, Lagos is faring well, you know, and it should be good that we also bring in the economic angle. In this year, 2025, the Dangote refinery was activated, all in Lagos State, and we can see the effect now in trying to push down the pump price of petroleum and exporting fuel to outside of the country, and all the battles of Dangote in trying to save his business, which has resulted in trying to fine-tune the oil and gas sector itself, and the Pengassan battles and all. Then we have the deep sea, that Lekki zone, and of course we've had increased activities and interest in the Atlantic City. And then, you know, I was there last week with my wife and children to go and see what's going on there. And then, of course, I had to show them the Calabar-Lagos road, which is directly connected to the Atlantic City also. So a lot of great things. And when you talk of tech, yes, Lagos enjoyed limelight in tech startups, then entertainment, big, you know. So Lagos
even the
remains
dirty
Lagos.
December. I said we are even in the season of dirty December.
Yes, but you see, that's another important issue. I must commend the governor of Lagos State, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, you know, perhaps due to some intelligence and being responsive as a leader. He has cancelled the Lagos First, which should have prompted different kinds of jams around. That no citizens should pray for Nigeria at a crucial time like this, and then try to tone it down. And I think that is quite commendable. If you look at the threat of terrorism and banditry, and at a point in time, the governors in the southwest had to come together because there were some reports that some bandits have filtered into the southwest. So we need to be sensitive to our society, and culturally speaking also, after 8 years of having featured the Eyo Festival of Lagos also came on stream. And then I hope that the Lagos State government will latch on the tourism potentials, and you know, great.
You have answered all my questions again, so wait, I want to ask. Okay, but
apologies.
It's good. I mean, I like the way it's going. But again, you mentioned the issue that happened at the Lagos State House of Assembly, as well as the local government elections now. For the Lagos State House of Assembly, looking at how that issue was handled and resolved, and we didn't have so much drama as compared to Rivers State and all. Looking at public trust in governance and in democracy, what do you think that says to the people?
You see, apparently in public relations, you talk about perception. Many did not perceive what happened as representing justice. But again, we're talking about politics. In politics, it's all about how you can manage the power stakeholders and reinstate stability. I still personally do not agree with all that happened in Rivers State, but politics has taken place. So that is for Lagos. And that's why I said the state also should be sensitive, the politicians, that there are other political stakeholders. And that's a brilliant question you raised. There is a need for trust. The system must be trusted. You know, while commenting on the local government elections, many just told us their votes won't count. And so what's the point going out there? That the power brokers have taken over. And really, during the campaigns, it was as if Lagos only has a party. But there are at least 18 registered political parties in this country. So it has just appeared that one is dominant. And of course, when you go into history also, the ruling party at the center often exercise enormous influence within the political space. But again, that should also translate to good governance to the citizens. And again, permit me to appreciate the governor of Lagos State, and in particular the PR top man in the public works of Lagos State, Dr. Ayetutu. Lagos, personally now, some of the complaints I prompted about some bad roads, talk about Oba Akran, Agege area, Awolowo Way, were attended to. And at the point I had to recommend to the governor that, sir, you may need to declare a state of emergency in local government roads, zero tolerance for potholes, because sometimes the governor may not even know what is going on. And driving around Lagos, I saw the beautiful interventions on a cold bridge, Top Mainland Bridge, linking Onikon and things like that. And if we sustain this and look at the nooks and crannies of Lagos State and bring development to these communities, yes, it will give people sense of belonging. So though there are still some challenges we need to cope with. But by and large, some stakeholders did not see what happened in the House of Assembly as portraying justice. But the matter was resolved and they agreed to work together. And again, another happening was when the governor of Lagos State was reported not to be on the same page with the president. In fact, in actual fact, that in a public function, the president snubbed him. But we saw that the president came out to resolve whatever the many may not know the details of those disagreements. And that portrays our president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces as a man with a large heart, So let things go on, particularly when 2027
it's around the corner.
Around the corner. So he must at least play the collaborative and inclusive politics. So.
All right, we'll take a short break now. We'll be joined by our second guest, and when we return, the conversation continues. Stay with us. Thank you for staying tuned. It is still the conversation, and we've been discussing Lagos and its political stories in 2025. And joining us is Muritala Serike. He is a youth leader in APC here in Lagos. You're welcome.
Thank
as
you
long
very
as
much.
we still have with us Barrister Jide Ologun, who has shared his own perspective on our topic today. So for you, Muritala, looking at the topic Lagos and its political stories. So for you in 2025, what were some of the let's call them events that happened in 2025, especially when it has to do with politics and the impact it has on governance and the people?
So thank you very much. And yeah, my name is Dr. Serike Muritala, and I'm the Lagos State APC Youth Leader. First, I want to say that event that has happened here in Lagos in this 2025 has been tremendous, you know, because it's a year where a whole lot of things have happened. And the last most recent is that the local government election that took place in Lagos. In the history of Lagos, Nigeria, it's actually very difficult to have a local government election, and on the day of the election, there wasn't a single gunshot in Lagos. There wasn't a history of any hijacking of ballot boxes. There were no life lost. There were no casualties. You know, this is almost the first time it's happening. So I can say that with all that has happened, we can say thank you or kudos to the Mr. Governor of Lagos, you know, for trying, and of course, and the party, you know, for trying to find a very good level playing ground, you know, for all our members, and also for providing us with candidates that are representing the actual view of the party and those of the people in the local government, you know. So this last local government election, of course, again, was the election that we had 57 council chairmen, all from one party system in APC that we have. And then we have about 370, out of the 376 wards that are councillors, we won 375, and we lost a seat to a young man in Yaba LCDA, you know. So it's been tremendous, and you know, a lot of events has happened, but they are all under controls.
Any other event you might like to share?
Yeah, very again importantly is that the party is also trying to have its online registration for all members. So it's an opportunity for me to also remind the audience and Lagosians who are
advertising for APC now?
You know, not really advertising, but informing the public.
Marketing will wait for you outside.
No, that we are informing the public that the APC registration is on now, and we encourage all our members, all our party faithfuls who want to join our party or who have been in our party and want to validate, you know, to register. It's not really an advert, actually.
That's what you're doing.
It's just to register themselves as an official member of the party. Like Barrister have said, he also has to go back to his ward to get registered, you know, for the party. It's not really an advertisement, you know.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll give it to you. So, Barrister, let me come back to you. So, while we were talking about the elections earlier, you mentioned something about apathy, which was recorded that some people didn't come out to exercise their franchise. So as a lawyer now, taking it from the standpoint of the law, I'd like you to enlighten Lagosians on the need, why they should participate in elections, especially local government elections.
Thank you very much. You see, voting is your civic responsibility, and it's also your right. It gives you the participatory leverage, and you may choose to ignore it, but if you ignore it, then you may not have the license to complain about the direction of governance. And at a time, recall that the National Assembly attempted to pass a law. A bill was prompted to compel citizens that are eligible that they must vote. Reference was made to Australia, Germany, and some other countries, about 20 countries where such operate. And the question some of us ask is that, is it the same deliverables that are available in those countries that are available in Nigeria? Because when you talk of apathy, some don't have interest, saying at the end of the day, what is the need for us? Some, for political reasons, they have assumed, let me say assumption is the lowest level of knowledge, that Lagos State belongs to APC. So let's leave it to APC. No, there is still need for you to express yourself. There is the aspect of the conscience. And as the democracy in Nigeria is nurtured, I hope it is nurtured to the point where we have the kind of democracy that operates in Switzerland. In Switzerland, there are 3 levels of political interventions. We talk of the federal, the state, and the canton. And that is why in Switzerland, you can have about 13 elections in 5 years. Because even on major projects in that country, all the 3 must vote in support before implementation, which means if the federal and states vote for and the canton vote against, it won't go. So you can see there that decisions are taken, the fortunes of the society is held by the stakeholders. So, and I believe we need to move to that point. And in public relations, that's what we call Frank Jeffkins transfer process. So if you have apathy, then you need to transfer it to interest. So how can we begin to have credible elections, free and fair election, transparent elections? When we begin to have that, then people will begin to see, oh, now I can go out there, because I've always been active going around before elections, on the day of elections. You found many who should be out there voting, playing football, and then
that has been
exactly. And again, legally speaking, there is no law that says if you have 14 million registered voters and only 500,000 come out to vote, that vote is nullified. No. You see, so, and if you look at Section 4 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, it states clearly that the National Assembly is empowered to make laws for the peace, orderliness, and good government in the country. And within the same section, the houses of assembly at the state level, perhaps when we now come up with laws that we make the elected officials and the appointed officials to perform in office and deliver what is popularly called dividends of democracy to the people, then the people will say, okay, now we can feel a government, so let's go in there. But generally, and to anchor my submissions, I want to advise everyone, like my doctor said here, particularly addressing the youth, get involved. See, go from your ward level, show interest. If we ask now on the spot of time that what's the name of the counselor in your many people don't know. So they just, you have to be involved. It's for human beings. So go in there and then be represented.
Let me come to you now, Dr. Seriki. Okay. Latching on what he just said about people being involved in the political affairs, coming down to the grassroots, the local governments, we have councillors as well, who are representatives of their various wards in their council areas. How important is it for residents or citizens to be involved in what goes on in their locality? How accountable is it for them to hold not just their chairman, but also their councillors accountable? And do they even know what they should hold them accountable for? That's another question.
All right, thank you so much. It's an opportunity to also educate the public. You know, Nigerians, Lagosians have not had it this good before since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu resumed office. He has tripled, even if not quadrupled, the amount of money released to local government for direct development. Mr. President is actually interested in grassroots development, and he knows that all of this kind of development that we want to see start from the grassroots. So if all of this is coming into your local government, we all as young people should be interested in the activities of what is going on. What is the work of a councillor? The work of a councillor is synonymous to the work of a member of House of Assembly. It's synonymous to the work of members of House of Reps and that of the Senate of Nigeria. They are to make laws and guide, check the books, counterbalances of the chairman of local government. They are to also advise, lobby the chairman of that local government to bring development to their own ward where they reside. They can have opportunity to say, oh, Mr. Chairman, we are aware that X amount of money had come into the local government or in this budget. Can we please mark this amount of money for development of roads, for development of schools, for development of hospitals in our local government? We are doing ourselves more harm than good as young persons, as Lagosians, as Nigerians, if we don't get involved.
All right, because our time is fast spent, just very briefly, as Lagos, this is for both of you now, as Lagos moves towards 2026, what are the things that you think must change politically to strengthen democracy, accountability in the state? Let me start with the barrister.
I want the governor and the leadership of Lagos to sustain that response and to set up a task force to go around. Start with roads, and it's a good thing Lagos State is investing on energy. When those basic interventions have failed, like you brilliantly mentioned, I engaged the Agege local government chairman, Vinod Obasa, and I'm amazed by some interventions he's bringing in. But the people also need to rise up. At a point, I even saw the road leading to the railway station in Agege. I wasn't pleased with it. They are working on it now. And so let citizens also know it's for them to develop. So, and finally, the president himself is still threatening an executive order in respect of that local government autonomy. It has not been fully implemented by some governors. So the people should rise up. And let me challenge my doctor that how many councillors can walk up to their chairman and say, come and render account. We know politically. So we need to also bring in the spirit of service into those offices at every level. And that is what we facilitate the accountability. Otherwise, it will be just salute me from far.
So maybe, thank you very much. I would also beg to differ with the barrister, that how many councillors can walk up to their chairman. Yes, we in Lagos here, activities are and monumental developments we see are collective efforts. Already the APC itself as a party has set up a stakeholders engagement committee that is involved in going to different local government to see the amount of development and dividend of democracy that is getting to their people. So for instance, you can see the amount of very gigantic hospital that we have in Ikosi Sherry, courtesy of a local government chairman. That is the biggest we can say in Nigeria, from the data that we have for a primary health care center. Of course, for instance, we can also see the amount of development that is going on. He has just mentioned that of Agege and the road that leads to the road. We also know that, roads now in Lagos, you need to be in the direct or far outskirts before you have significant bad roads. Again, activities that will happen this 2026. This 2026 is going to be a greater one for all of us, including yourself,
Amen to that. All right. Amen to that. All right. I must thank you again, Barrister Jide Ologun. He's a lawyer and political affairs commentator. Amen to that. And Dr. Muritala Seriki, APC youth leader here in Lagos. Thank you so much for sharing your insights on Lagos and its political stories in 2025. Hoping to see you in 2026.
Thank you.
The conversation continues shortly. Stay with us.
The views expressed on this program do not represent that of the producer, management of Lagos Television, or the Lagos State Government. They remain the perspectives of those expressing them. Thank you for staying with Lagos Television.